All right, starting recording. Welcome to the Tellor Tech Call, date January 21st, 2020. Yeah, so I guess we'll just start with, like we always do, just kind of some code updates. And then what we're going to do, talk about the pool, some of the bounties, and then we're going to go into the cross-chain stuff. Should be fun. So the first thing, minor updates. So not minor and small, minor in the Tellor minor system. So the big thing, GPUs are now enabled by default. Whenever you download it, I just updated the documentation quite a bit today. Hopefully it's a lot easier to kind of go through. There's no longer the technical versus non-technical sections. It's just one very nice, easy, coherent documentation piece. There's a lot more configuration options in there now. So, if you want to play around with tweaking your GPUs or different logging options, there's just a whole bunch you can play around with in there. We're trying to continuously document it as we continuously add stuff. So I would expect more and more changes to continue to come, but just know that we are updating the documentation as we go, which is to read the docs. So yeah, I think that's it for the main minor piece. Some of the other things, if you've tried running it in the past and it didn't work for you, we have a better Windows build. We have a Linux build that works on a whole lot of different systems now. So definitely just go give it a try again. Some big other news for the minor. If you guys haven't seen, we have tellorpool.org. So Shepherd Blue over there in Discord. If you go over to the Discord for Tellor, it's basically a mining Discord at the moment. Everybody's just talking about mining on the pool, which is awesome. So there's a few things different about how the pool works. We now have integrated into, you download the exact same mining software. But the cool thing about it is that you can now, if you mine on the pool, you can mine with the pool's address, which is how it works. So you can start mining and earning tributes even if you don't stake 1,000 tokens. So if you thought that was a little too steep for you, but you got a whole bunch of GPUs, or even some GPUs, I pointed one of my GPUs and I've earned some tributes on it too. So yeah, you don't necessarily need to stake 1,000 tokens, which is a big piece for a lot of people kind of just getting in and wanting to try it out. So go over to the Discord. That's where kind of the conversation's happening on the pool. I don't even say much. They're really, really quick about responding to each other. So if you have any questions, just start doing that. The other thing, the pool, at least the people who are running the pool, we know who they are. They're very active in the Discord group and they're kind of community members. So go join and hopefully they can win more. We know a lot of the mining rewards have been going to people who we have no idea who they are, that's great. I mean, that's the whole goal of a decentralized protocol, is that anonymous people from all over the world are competing for the same thing. But it's also nice whenever somebody is getting the rewards. So that's always cool. Bounty changes. So Tellor has a bounty program, if this is your first call. And we give away some tributes. I continuously upgrade the amounts if nobody takes it. So if you saw one and you're like, it wasn't worth it, A, reach out to me, let me know what you would take it for, and B, know that I continuously upgrade it. Another thing that we added, we're starting to do some cross-chain stuff, which I'm going to get into right after this. And we're also starting to think about V2 of Tellor. So what are some ways that we can upgrade the current Tellor code base to make it better, which those two pieces are Solidity work. So if you're a Solidity developer, which is Ethereum's programming language, and you're looking for a way to kind of help contribute to the Tellor ecosystem, let me know. Even if you just want to help audit the code, or you want to be one of the people we send it to first, we'd love to have you on board. So definitely go look at those. Reach out if you're interested. It can be fun. So now I'm going to share my screen for you guys, and I'm just going to share a picture. And then we're going to all right, Tellor CrossChain Implementation. So this is going to be, this is the next thing that Tellor is working on. So we're hoping to have it out within, I don't know, probably the unaudited MVP version within a month or two. So we'll be kind of working very quickly, kind of like we always do with the development, to push something out. But just the idea of what it is. So if you guys know, Tellor right now is built on top of Ethereum. We love Ethereum. Ethereum's great. But there are actually other chains besides Ethereum. I know a lot of, shocking as that may be. The big ones that we're looking at right now, so we're friends with the guys over at Matic. They were in Binance Labs as well. There's some great guys. That's another chain. It is just an Ethereum sidechain, but it's another chain. Another thing we're looking at is Cosmos. And then we've also been talking to the Harmony guys as well. As far as what chain we're kind of looking to build Tellor on top of next, we're really open to any chain. But we, if you need a decentralized Oracle, you should be a decentralized chain. It sort of makes sense. So, like I don't really care to go on Hyperledger, for instance. We want to build out a decentralized Oracle for people that actually kind of believe in the same vision that we have. But we want to have a way to do that that utilizes the current Tellor system, or at least the current Tellor token. So it just makes our system stronger with every chain that we add, because that's kind of a big piece, and how we want to have kind of the same roughly structure for, okay, how do we deploy Tellor on Matic? How do we deploy Tellor on Cosmos? And that's what we're looking at doing. So, the first idea would be, okay, well, we'll just go redeploy Tellor over there. Like, that sounds great. The problem there is now you have two separate tokens. So you're minting tokens over on this alternate chain. Do you keep them on their own chain? Are they interoperable? How does that work? It can get messy really fast. You also don't want to double your inflation rate. That could get pretty awful really fast. The other piece is that you don't really want to split proof of work. So if you put like if you have like a bunch of GPU miners over on Tellor and now they're solving a GPU problem over here, you're taking hash rate away from the Ethereum Tellor, so you're making it weaker, which is we don't want to do. So you can't just split it. Okay, and you're like, okay, so you can't just redeploy it. Why don't you just have all the Cosmos people read the values on Ethereum? And that would be cool. But the problem is that remember, blockchains can't talk to each other, and they can technically on the Cosmos network. Ethereum is just off-chain information, and it can't read off-chain information. It needs you guessed it. It needs an oracle to read off-chain information, which is kind of why it would want us. So we would need to build a way for that to kind of work, which we wanted to just kind of get away from that. We wanted, okay, how about we can put a whole different system over there? Because there's other things, Ethereum is not necessarily the fastest chain. If you could build it on another chain, you might be able to take advantage of some better features of those chains. You can have some slight customization in there, so you don't want to just force them to read values on Tellor, and Tellor's Ethereum, and you don't want them to have to like go buy Ether to submit gas if they don't like Ether. You want to sort of have it native on their chain. So this is the idea that we have currently. This is a draft. This is, if it's awful, let us know and we will edit it. So the biggest thing is you have some assumptions about these alternate chains. The first thing is that they can obviously run smart contracts. So we need a way to deploy smart contracts over there. And the other thing is right now a token bridge. So a token bridge is basically a way for you to pass Tellor tributes from Ethereum to this other chain. Most of the chains are building their own for this. So Cosmos, for instance, is building token bridges. Harmony is building a token bridge. Matic has a token bridge. If we had to build our own, we could build one, and we can work on doing that. Other people have done token bridges, or you could even have some way of transferring and minting. Different problem. We're abstracting that away for now. Mainly because our first builds already have token bridges, so we don't need to deal with it. So you have Tellor Tribute token on this alternate chain. We're going to move to a staking system. Since you can't do proof of work over there, the other option is staking. So what you would do is you would stake your tokens. And this can be a smaller amount. You can say increments of 10 or 20, whatever we decide. And now you have a whole bunch of stakers, and we randomly select stakers to fulfill data requests based upon how much they stake. So if you stake more, you're more likely to get chosen. Parties over on that chain, then they come and request data from the Tellor smart contract, and the selected validators go and grab it and bring it back. The current thing that we're playing around with right now is, so what do those validators receive? And we would at first be putting in a minimum kind of how much you have to tip to these miners. So you would pay in Tellor tributes over on their chain. Hey, I want the price of Bitcoin. I want the price of Apple stock. There would be a minimum amount they tip. The validators go get it and bring it back. Because we cannot have minting rewards over there, or at least we're not planning on it because we don't want to increase the inflation rate. So, and you also don't want, you want it to sort of keep them separate. So basically the people who would be doing that and doing requests, it would be solely demand based. So the people over there who want to pay for this service could then do so. And since it's staking, it's, you don't have that big computational cost overhead make that you really need those minting rewards. You could do it for, how much do you need to get paid to send an API call? And especially if you're on one of these side chains or other chains where transactions are basically free, you're just running a small program on your computer and submitting it. So even if you make, 10 cents each time, like that's just great money. So that's the big thing. And then obviously similar to the other Tellor system, those values can be disputed. And this is where it gets interesting. So unfortunately, on most of these chains, you can't read the balances of the person over on Tellor. So the voting would have to be based upon, okay, this is your balance over on Matic chain or whatever the alternate chain is, which could be a problem because let's say you're, theoretically one person could just really take over control of that chain and they could break the voting of it. We wouldn't want that. So what we're planning on implementing is actually similar to the Augur idea of just multiple dispute rounds. You have one dispute round for a day. If that one doesn't work, if the person's still lying, you can dispute the dispute round. And then you go to, say, a 2-day long voting period. And each time you can bring more tokens over if you want to. And what this allows us to do is sort of save the chain if somebody's trying to attack it. So yeah, that's kind of the basis of it. The other things that right now we're working on just implementing this. Obviously, we're working on kind of talking to people, getting their feedback. Some other interesting things we could think about as a Tellor community on Ethereum is right now there are no minting rewards over there. But let's say we start getting a whole bunch of demand over on some other chain. We could vote to shift some minting rewards over there. You could vote to say, hey, we're going to reduce the mining rewards on Ethereum by 50% and go give them to this other chain. Could be something we would want to do. Not throwing it out. So yeah, I think it's just a lot to think about how that would work. I think initially we wouldn't want to. We'll kind of want to see where demand comes in. Um, but yeah, those are some of our ideas for launching Tellor on an alternate chain. We'd also love to know, what chains do you guys want to see it on? What are some of the other things that we can do? If you have other ideas, if you've thought about this kind of thing. Yeah, and if you guys would want to do this, just let us know. You know, we want to know kind of, if you guys are like, hell no, I'd never transfer my tokens to another chain. Then yeah, obviously we could have some trouble getting some validators over there, but we want you guys to be a part of it. We want this to be a community thing. So, all right, I'm going to stop sharing now. All right. So, do we have any questions? And I don't think we do, but you know, a few other things just as we kind of continue this building of Tellor and continue just managing all of the community that continues to come in. You know, everybody, just remember that everybody's new. Be as welcoming as possible, and let's just take it slow. You know, a lot of you guys reach out to me like, when's a new exchange? When's some great news? And just remember that, you know, building an actual great product, it's going to take some time. We're doing everything right. You guys are just an amazing help. Basically manage every single piece on its own. So yeah, definitely just take it slow and believe in the process, that if we build something right, that's what's going to make it work, and not some gimmicky marketing hype or AMA cycle or paying to get on some exchange. You know, we want to do this the right way, and we want to build things that are actually decentralized. So anyway, on to the question. Depending on the timeline, Polkadot or Cosmos might be a solution. So yeah, I think you came in a little bit late. We are looking at building on Cosmos, but Cosmos has interoperability between Cosmos chains. Same with Polkadot. So if you build on Polkadot, you can have sort of interoperability within each other, but it's not as interoperable with Ethereum. You sort of have to work that in. Because ultimately, you know, we're a decentralized oracle. That's our goal as a company, is to provide off-chain information to people who need it. At the moment, that's Ethereum. So where is decentralized finance? Where are the people who are trying to get off-chain information, but they have to do it in a centralized manner? That's on Ethereum. Cosmos or Polkadot, they're still very, very new. There's not a whole lot of demand over there. Obviously, it's like a chicken egg thing. You know, if they have all the tooling, can they build out something better? But we want to make sure that we don't waste time building on a chain that is never going to have any demand for this. So if you guys really like one of those chains, you know, we worked with the Cosmos guys during Binance Labs. We shared an office with them in Berlin. They're great guys. They really kind of believe in what they're building, and they're philosophically aligned with where we're trying to go. So we can definitely see ourselves driving with them well. But yeah, I don't necessarily know about many of the other chains. And yeah, so that's, you know, I'd be happy to talk kind of what any of those would look like. But I'll be passing around the CrossChain documentation. Just remember, this is a draft. Everything can change. If you guys have some amazing other idea, just let us know. We'll go do that thing. So Michael, welcome. So yeah, I think that's it for everyone. Any last questions? Or anybody need to say anything? All right. Thanks for coming, and we'll push this up on YouTube. Talk to you guys next week.